Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this Speedbuild Fairy Village series that I've got going on. It is the final part. It has taken a hot minute to film and edit this part of the building, and I do apologize that it has taken so long. But we're here. We're finally here. We're doing the decorating and restructuring of the rest of the build. So in the first one, we did the bridge and we did the left-hand side with the trees and sort of sitting / altar area. And now we're doing the rooms and the bottom part of the bridge. More decorations, you'll see. But I really just want to say that this one was fun. I did this build before the Bags and Blasts update came out, so I didn't use any of the new items, and also the new abiotic update as well. So this was done before those items came out, so I didn't use any of the banners or anything. However, I have gone back and used the banners into, I think, 2 of the rooms in this build, regardless of it being a creative world. And they're just really pretty, and I wanted to put something in what will later be the kids' room. So yeah. But up here, I tried to do something a little different. I used those Easter pedestals and then put Easter stools on top. So it kind of looks like, I don't know, I really wanted a different kind of pedestal that wasn't the same pedestals that I'd been, wanted a different column than the same Easter ones that I've been using, and it just, like, there's no in-between one, and I didn't want something that was too high and then it was going to obstruct anything behind it, but I also wanted it to kind of just stand out and not be too small either. So it was just like a hard thing. I originally did go for the grass blocks on top of pedestals to kind of do like a hedge sort of situation. It just didn't look the way that I wanted it to. I really wanted it to kind of be more meshed together instead of gaps in between. But yeah, can't get everything that we want. But I'm just making sure that this area up the top, it looks finished, but like not, completely overgrown or not completely pitch perfect. And you'll see me light testing a lot throughout this build as well. And I do use the Easter garland and also the paintable Christmas lights here as well, just behind the trees, so that they're painted like green and purple, I think, but to give more of mood lighting sort of situation. It's not always just the roofing light. So yeah, as you can see, like I originally used the purple and the green, but did not enjoy that. So both purple, but went back to purple and green. And the garlands are coming up here. I never use these, like, ever. So this was just a nice detail on the back to use. And I drop on down to the bottom of the bridge, and I'm replicating what I did at the top. So you'll see me go back and forth a bit to kind of like see where I need to do a section, or how many grass blocks I need to do, and how many loose floorings are here. And yeah, you can see me just calculating it. As soon as I go down, every single time I'm like, wait, I've forgotten. What was it? So yeah, it's been quite the build, and I did make sure to cover up the ends this time before putting in the water, because yeah, we don't want a mistake of last time again. Here I am checking. I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, okay, I've done it. And then yeah, we've got the water coming up, and I think it looks really nice with a nice like dark blue in the middle and then 2 light blue, you know, shimmering water on either side. Yeah, I don't know, it's quite interesting. I shared it to a friend at some point to ask, like, what do you think of this? And they were like, what is the point of the dark blue? Why have the dark blue if you're gonna have the light blue on either side? It makes no sense. But we ignored that and we pursued. We continued on, and we decided to put more music, the music stand things there, because I like to torture myself apparently and listen to not mixed sounds at all. It did not harmonize at all. It was terrible, but but yeah, I should have put them down last, but I didn't really think about it at the time. And we're decorating the water. So if you've got pools of water or anything like that, I highly recommend putting stalagmites in. They really give the water some like depths as well, and just kind of more character than you would normally have with just a bland piece of water. Like, I already have those poles from the wood bridge, and that's great, but like, just to have extra things in there. So like, I'm putting kelp in there, I'm gonna put some coral, and on the one on the left you saw that I used the abyss trees as well. So it just kind of, yeah, the jellyfish are also great, but in some water types you can't see them, they don't pop up, but they do produce light, so they're really good in the ocean water. I just kind of put them in the shimmering frontier water because like, you can't really tell, but you can, when you walk past, you can see that there's something floating in there. But the coral from the ocean, that also produces light, as you can see with the pink coming off. And I do put some in the ocean section as well, and also later in the top version of the shimmering frontier at the top of the bridge. But yeah, I do like to try different like water pieces. I decided against the coral that was protruding out of the water, and instead opted for ones that you just see below the water. It seemed like it was a bit too much, a bit overkill there, and I didn't want it to fully look like a ocean build and more just its decoration. Like, you can see there, those pale corals, they look really nice in the water, but it's not too much. And then you've also got the crystal stalagmites in there as well, and they're like faded too. So I don't know, I enjoy it. But here I'm wishing that we had a 2 version of the planter box. So 2 what's it called, 2 squares, 2 tiles instead of the 3. I put the singular decorative pots on the left and tried to put them side by side, but I hated it. So yeah, I think I end up getting rid of them, and then yeah, I just used the singular pots on the other side at the end. I was gonna go for the decorative, no, the planter box, but then I was like, no. So I think I'm not sure here, because I think we do stay with the the side by side. I don't know why I keep trying to say one by one. The side by side ones over here, and then I just go with the 3 over there. But that is my mistake. That is because I did make it uneven, and that's my fault. So if you're OCD and you don't like looking at imperfect things, yeah, I'm sorry that this is not a great one. But I was trying to go for what looked good in these planter boxes without kind of going with the same color scheme again. It doesn't really go well. I tried a lot of different combinations. I cut out a lot of different combinations, but I did know that I wanted the golden wheat on either side. Not that you can see it, but it just kind of, it gives a nice vibe. But yeah, I get rid of the golden sunrise, I think, because it was just a bit too yellow. Whereas with the normal sunrise, just the plain one, that one's a bit more, it's got a bit more pink into it. It's not as bright on the yellow side. But we've dropped on down now to the bottom part of the bridge of the village. This is where I created a nice little garden, a community garden. So I got rid of most of the ground and put a section for crystal crops, and then also for other crops that we can have normally. And then I was like, oh wait, this is uneven. I need a gate that's too wide. We don't have a gate that's too wide. So I got rid of that and just used these columns, and then eventually I think I get rid of those columns or I move them further away, but we decorate this heavily. Oh yeah, I think I keep these ones and then I add the obelisk to them, which I'll point out later because it actually makes it look so different. Not really, but like it just gives it an extra depth. So yeah, I was originally going to name this green crops and blue crops, but then I was like, wait a second, that makes no sense. So we went with green and special. But we are painting this white originally, but then I was like, I don't want it to match completely, like matchy all the way. So I went back to the peach, and I really quite enjoy the peach painted fence. And I'm putting the glass floors under the fence and on the wood bridge because it just gives a nice like reflective surface. And oh yeah, I accidentally put that extra one there. But yeah, and with the lighting, it plays really nicely with the lighting. Like there I was appreciating it. And I was going to put it on that next part, but because it was dirt there, I didn't. And so I decided against it and just left it on the wood bridge area. And I'm using the, what is it? The, oh gosh, pandemonium? That's not right. The Pandorium crystals. Those ones are really quite good to give off a kind of magical feel. And you'll see this wheelbarrow being moved a bajillion times throughout the entire video. And it's because you can't, I don't understand, you can't put anything within one tile of it. So it really fudges you over when you're trying to place things. Like, see, you can see me being like, what the hell, I can't place it there. So I had to get rid of it to then place that box down. And we're just putting these boxes down so we can get some natural looking broken floor on the ground basically. And And yeah, I use that trick a lot. So you have to disable God mode for it to work. And then, yeah, you get these nice little floor decals from the broken boxes. But yeah, as I was saying, the Pandorium crystals are really good. And I was going to use the boulder originally, but it was just too big. And I decided against it. So we just went with the small crystals. And we were going to go for these trees here from the passage. I decided against it because I really kind of wanted an archway where they like meet up, but it just didn't really fit the vibe. It was a bit too dark. So I do end up using the cherry blossom trees again. And yeah, we're decorating the tables with food and drinks and stuff of what fairies might eat. And then later I had an idea that, oh wait, maybe the fairies would eat flowers because that's what I fed my fairies when I was a kid. And yeah, so it was quite a thought, but we don't get to it until way later. But yeah, it was really quite fun decorating this area. I don't know if I go overboard, but it was quite fun to fully decorate it. Like usually I put like a few plants here and there, and that's about it. But like this one, I went full decoration, and kind of reminded me of my Sims days. I haven't decorated that much in a very long time. But at some point when we start doing the decorating of the rooms and everything, I will stop talking because it is a long thing. So I am going to put some music in there, some nice core keeper music, to keep you company. And I will be back after we're finished with the rooms to talk again. But yeah, that's not for a little bit. So I just wanted to let you know that that's coming. But yeah, here's me finding the flower and being like, oh wait, we could use a flower and a candy thing. And then I was like, maybe not the orange. So I get rid of it and then put a lot of flowers in. And then, yeah, well, that doesn't really work out because I was just like, wait, this is overboard. It's too much. So then I ended up putting the candy back and the rose water back. So it was fun while it lasted. But one pet peeve is that I cannot rotate the floor pillows. I think I said this in the last one. I want to be able to move it so that it faces like towards a table or something, because they all look like they're facing up, and there's a section that doesn't have a frill on it, but and so then it would be facing towards the table, but the only time it works is if it's facing towards the table. So yeah, really quite infuriating. And I did get rid of those Easter floor lamp things because they just, I don't know, it wasn't fitting with the kind of vibe that I was going for. And the grass that we're putting down, this is not the only grass that we're going to be using. I do end up using these rose petal bouquets from the Valentine's event. They are really quite good, the potted vases. But yeah, number one, the fact that they look like that, and then two, that you can put them on the ground, like that's just even more of a bonus. So yeah, I was just finding ways to implement them without it being overkill, and I think I got my point across. Yeah, I really wanted to use these potted plant trees, but they just didn't work out, and I kind of felt like I needed a sort of centerpiece sort of situation, but yeah, we get rid of those singing crystals and end up putting in the, oh, what are they called? The dudes from the desert. Dudes from the desert. They're like the broken one versus the ancient one. But we'll see it in a second when I swap these ones out. But I'm just testing here. I go off God mode so that I can see whether or not you can actually get and walk around. So yeah, that's my main thing. But I'm using the loose flooring here because the floor was looking a bit too perfect. And I'm now also using these flowers from the Azaeos. So they will not be staying. They're there so I can do the same thing as what I did with the wooden boxes. I will go off God mode and I will destroy them so that I can get some nice natural looking flower petals on the ground. It's going to be great. And I eventually do end up doing it with the desert flowers as well, because they're pink. But yeah, as you can see, they're nice yellow ones. I think I do end up like not liking some of the yellow ones, so then I go with the desert ones, which are pink. So then they give off pink petals. But yeah, some of them meshed with the loose flooring a bit too much, so I had to get rid of some of them. But yeah, here I am using the pink ones. Quite nice, if I do say my words just aren't working for me today, apparently. Yeah, some of the versions of the flowers are just so pretty. It's hard not to want to keep them in your build. But yeah, the Guardian Temple dude. And I try out different trees, but then it blocked the entrance. I didn't like it. But yeah, he looked really sick, and it looked nice that he was like the guardian of the village. So yeah, I quite liked it. And then I thought about the crystal grass, and I was like, hang on a second, this would look really, really nice with the flowiness of it and also the transparency. Like, it looks like it would be part of like a magical area. So I had to use that. And here's the wheelbarrow making its return. I was like, hang on a second, how are we going to use this wheelbarrow? It really was quite annoying. And yeah, I think I put the pedestal there for now to remind myself where to put the wheelbarrow, but it just got on my nerves way too much, and I was like, no, I'm removing you. And it was really hard to build around it. But yeah, we got there in the end. And I actually don't know if I just put it there just to remember where it was. And then I thought to myself, wait a second, what about the passage shrubs? Those ones are nice. So and they make a like squelchy sound every time you brush through them as well. So I used a mix of the short ones and the small ones, and the wheelbarrow got removed again. And this was before the update, so that I couldn't cycle between the hotbars. So that's why I'm pressing tab, going into each one. The days of that are gone, thank goodness. But yeah, I'm just making sure like it feels very much lived in and sort of like a part of the village. It doesn't look too bad. But I didn't want to overcrowd it either. So yeah, we're going into the room building now, so I will leave you all to it. Enjoy! And here we are for the base tour, or the village tour. So we're back over on the left hand side at our nice scenery that we did at the beginning. And here I am trying to walk very slowly, but yeah, it's just me stop-starting, so it's gonna be a bit janky. But I love it, and I absolutely love that I put all those bugs in. It looks just so realistic that there would be this many glow bugs and butterflies, and yeah, I mean realistic in terms of a fairy village, but you know, you never know what you can find out there. But yeah, just I really enjoyed building this one. And I hope you guys enjoyed the rooms. As we can see over here, these are all the rooms that we've just built. Up the top is all the trees and a waypoint for all the fairies to come in and go. And then yeah, I really quite enjoyed that second room that I built. It's like the sewing one, the designer. First one is great because I got to use the aquarium, but yeah, I don't know, there's something about the second room that just kind of I really appreciate. And we've always got to have a creepy altar, always in my builds now apparently. And master bedroom sort of situation, this must be the queen fairy. And I really quite like this small room. At the beginning I was kind of hesitant because I was like, how am I going to make these rooms, you know, speak to you guys? How am I going to make it look like it's a fairy room? But yeah, the small ones really kind of worked out for me. And yeah, we've got the lower part of the village, and there's the obelisk I was talking about on the behind the Easter pillars, so it kind of gives an extra pointed part, but it doesn't look like it's too much part of it. But yeah, then we've got the kids room, which I eventually put banners in, and then we've got the plant room, and then another altar. You'd think I'm like super religious or something, But no, not me. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will get back to building and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.